All right, so Dustin brought his van over this morning. Did an alignment on that to get that ready to tow down to West Virginia because he's towing the car down for us this time. So then I was just pulled this back in. While he was down here, I built the harnesses for the front fog lights. So those are working now. Obviously, you can see the rear strobe bar back there, strobing away. And I did get the brake lights and the left turn signal hooked up. Now I'm going to work on the right turn signal and the reverse light yet. And then that part will be done. I also built the harness. It's laying down here because I was just working on some of this stuff for the inverter for the USBs to charge everything. So I'm going to stuff that through the firewall and make sure that works. Yeah, get that hooked up. That's a 9 amp, so we're going to go here off of this 10 amp port. We can always flip it to this 20 if we needed to for the race. Just see how it does on this 10 amp. And I think that should be all the wiring for this. Then we can start to neaten. Well, after we get the inverter up and these couple things done, then we can start to neaten this harness up. So it's getting there. I'm running low on crimps though. That's I've only got the pink guys left. I have some of these solder ones, and then on top of it, while I was building those couple harnesses while Dustin was here, my heat gun broke. I've had that thing for like 10 years, but still. And then I was watching some videos on how to reweave these winches so I can make a loop end on this, and made a little tool here to stuff through it. So, but yeah, I guess let me shut these fog lights off here and the strobe bar. This thing's nice because it's got this all off button, or all on, turns everything on or off, so we can set what we want. But you can see there, same thing. Pretty cool. And then it is keyed, so if I turn the ignition off, it keys it right off, which is super cool. So, I guess, there we go. So, I guess let's get the inverter hooked up, check that out, and then these last couple wires fish through, and yeah, and then see where we're at. All right, it's hooked up here, wired into the switch panel. So if we turn this on now, I'll just do all on because I haven't labeled these. You'll see it's charging, and then if I hit all off, oops, that's all on, charging, all off, not charging. So pretty cool. I'm excited about that. And it reverts on and off, which I like. So, yeah, I like that. We won't have to worry about plugging all the stuff up too and having it run the battery dead, because it'll all run through this switch pros up here. So, I got tail lights to pull yet. So I'm gonna get that pulled through. Oops. And then, it's really just neatening up all this wiring and getting everything back together. So, yeah, I think we're looking good. All right. Here's what we've got. Sorry, wipe my screen off. All right, so we do key on. Because I haven't labeled these, we'll hit the all on button. That turns everything on, including the fog lights on the front. So when we come out back, light bar with the regular strobes. We do our turn signal left. And we get a left turn signal and a left blinking light. We do our turn signal right. We get a right turn signal, all while strobing. And then, also important, if we go into reverse here, we now have two reverse lights, the low one and a high one up there. So lots of light coming out the back, and obviously the 2 factories. So she is set up to throw some light. And then obviously, if you're watching out back there, see it all, we just turned the key off, and it's all gonna power off. And then when we go key on, it does not all come on, which is nice. So while Dan's driving it, unless he turns that switch on, oop, gotta go back in the park. So unless he turns that switch on, which we'll label it all strobe bar on here, he won't have to worry about driving down the road accidentally. So we've got the inverter over there hooked up too. So he's on his way over, Dan's on his way over with a heat gun. Mine died, obviously, so I'm going to wait till he gets here to finish shrinking all these connectors. So I'm going to clean up here with what I can. Wait till he gets here. We'll shrink all those connectors and then tape everything up real good and put it all in loom. So I think the only other thing I can do right now is get that switch panel down there, get the hole zipped in that, and get that mounted up underneath of there. And then, trying to think, get that mounted and probably mount the inverter. I got to figure out how I want to do that. I'm kind of thinking if I mount it, oops, like right here, I'm getting a lot of stuff up in this footwell. So I may wait till Dan gets here and see. I want to put it somewhere here though, so we can get all the wires sort of fished around here. So I don't know. I got to figure out how he wants to run this yet. So, I don't know. We'll figure that part out. Get that mounted, and then that's all in. Oh, and I guess I can go ahead anyways and run this. So I'll probably get that put up too. So let's start on some of this while we're waiting on him to get here with the heat gun, and try to button it up once he gets here. Oh my God, it's so much light. Your poor alternator is going to be.
Should get that voltage regulator before we go. I feel like the body lights are dimmer.
Oh yeah, I think the headlights are dying. Yeah. Well, I didn't film Dan backing out the driveway, but there's a pretty fair amount of snow out here. Probably 3 inches, 3.5 inches. Kind of all came out of nowhere. So he made it up though. Thing's a beast with the lockers in it and stuff now. So it crawled right up the driveway. The lights look really nice, meets all the requirements. So the only thing we got to do yet, really, as far as tech inspection stuff, is the fire extinguishers need to be mounted. So that's not really a huge deal, but needs to get done. And then I guess next week this is Sunday, so he's gonna take it Monday, Tuesday, get the second alternator in and a splash shield for it, work on that. I'll probably take it back Friday night again. Saturday I'll go through and just get all of our gear in it, make sure everything's strapped down, just go over all the zip ties and stuff one more time. Might see if I can get a new battery put in. The batteries, I had to throw the jump pack on. I mean, I had the doors open and running all them lights to test everything, but still probably see if I can get a new battery in it before we go. And then the last little project that I got to kind of wrap up with it, other than just prepping everything, which we're doing good, is this winch rope extension, and I need to figure out how to weave it back onto itself. So I made the little rod today. So weave it back into itself and make a hook out of it. You know, you're going to need a loop. And then we'll have a 70-foot extension And then Dan's winch has like 80 feet on it. So basically, we'd have a 70-foot extension or a 45-foot if we connected it back to itself to pull from. And then 80 feet or so on the Jeep. So we wouldn't have to pull nearly as much cable out if we're only going like 40 feet. You could pull 20 feet out of the Jeep or 40 feet out of the Jeep and throw this something, you know, I mean, it makes our ability to reach. I mean, essentially we'd have close to 160 feet of reach with the tree saver and everything on it that we can winch. And then, like I said, by doubling it over and things like that, kind of get hooks and tow paths to pull along. So anyways, yeah, so I'm just sweeping up. I'm going to go pull my Maverick down here to thaw out tonight. Yeah, but that's where we're at. Later, guys.